Hey there riders, Moto Journo Chris here today, and I wanted to have a chat about the boots I've been wearing for the off-roading, and really you could do it for a bit of adventure touring as well, because these are aimed at providing the level of protection you need for off-roading and adventure riding, as well as like kind of, I guess you'd say, all of the comfort and the flexibility that you'd expect, which is what I always look for. I always look for the flexibility. I know there are people who'll go for the option, which is the absolute best at the one thing they do. For me, because of the type of riding I do, I really like the options which cover a couple of bases, and you know, in some cases might mean that you could buy one item, like one boot, instead of buying say 3 boots to cover 3 different types of riding. And I've been really impressed with the Sidi Adventure 2 Gore-Tex boots. So as the name would suggest, they are Gore-Tex lined, and what they've done is they've got an additional 3 inches of Gore-Tex further up the boot. Now 3 inches is a pretty generous amount of extra waterproofing, so it means it's a lot further up the boot that you'll get that proper waterproofing and the you know, really ideal level of protection that Gore-Tex provides with the waterproofing and the breathability. So that's a nice feature. I mean, I didn't ever use the old boots. However, with that being said, it's something that I can obviously appreciate, because if I was ever to ford a river or anything like that, I would want the ideal level of waterproof protection, because there's nothing worse than getting wet feet. I've done it many times with non-waterproof boots, and it's a real hassle and it's a real issue to get rid of later. So these being as waterproof as possible with Gore-Tex, which is, you know, like the premium waterproofing system, is really good. As you can see here, this is quite a hefty boot, but it doesn't go up to the huge levels of like bulkiness and protection that say a full-on motocross boot offers, which again for me is exactly what I'm looking for. You've got a 2 buckle system here, the ratchet type strap, which offers the adjustability. It's not something that you can just kind of do. You need to play around with that. So once you get it set up, it's good to go. You've got the big velcro closure up the top here, as you can see here, which really nice design feature there, because it gives you a lot of ability to kind of work with that there. I find it a very snug fit. I've got quite thin feet and it's a perfect kind of fit for my foot. Obviously there's a little bit of extra room there, but I find in some boots, you know, my foot kind of floats around. With this, it's absolutely perfect. It's got this nice heavy duty sole here, exceptional grip, and probably the biggest thing that I notice is the level of feel you have in these boots is absolutely exceptional. You've got really good movement at the ankle, so you can move your foot up and down. So as you can see here, I'll do some close-ups of that. The one thing I do have to say is that I've seen a couple of places that they note that these boots don't squeak. They most certainly do, but I've also heard people saying adding a little bit of WD-40 solves that problem. I haven't bothered yet, but I can see that being a situation which I might do in the future. You've got heaps of protection here around the ankle, which is good. You've got like a really heavy duty sole, which the boot itself is super comfortable. Like I put these on and I was just happy to wear them all day from the minute I put them on. There was no wear in for me at all. It was pretty much just a matter of putting them on and being happy and ready to go. You know, I've got some better full-length socks which really do help with the knee armour I'm wearing, the Fly Racing knee armour, the knee guard. However, for the boot itself, I didn't feel like I needed a long sock or anything like that. It's just super comfortable, and I'm obviously wearing the Fly Racing Evolution pants underneath, which they do offer a little bit of protection under there. But it's a super comfortable boot. It's got some heat shielding on the inside of the thigh there, which really helps obviously, because you can get a lot of heat build up, particularly if you're stuck sitting in traffic or something like that. As I said, the buckle system is really cool. It's a replaceable buckle system. As you can see here, really easy to use, and you're never going to have too much issues with stuff getting stuck in there or anything like that. It's also got like this lower armored section here which protects the lower buckle, which, as you can imagine, stuff coming up and hitting that lower buckle is going to be a concern for the people who ride really hard and are doing a lot of off-roading. I'm not there yet, but I can definitely appreciate that level of protection to ensure that that buckle isn't damaged and doesn't need to be replaced. But obviously you can buy the buckles to replace them if anything happens to them, which is great for the longevity of the boot. So you're not having to buy a whole new boot if you have an issue with the buckle. The build quality, exceptional. They're not a leather boot. They use a special leather style microfiber material for the boot itself, and essentially what they say is it's longer wearing, better wearing. It's just a more ideal choice than leather for this kind of build. And I mean, everything is really heavy duty. You know, there's double stitching, the plastic's all heavy duty, the sole as well, very, very heavy duty, as you can see here, and very well attached to the boot. There's, you know, no ugly glue or anything visible, which you do see on some of the cheaper boots. So the overall build quality of the boot is really, really high, and I'm gonna believe Sidi when they say that that's a more ideal and better wearing material than leather. I've done a fair bit of riding in these, not a heap of wet riding, and so far they're wearing really well. You know, there's the creases in the obvious movement sections, you know, like at the toe, because especially if you walk in them off the bike, which is very, very comfortable, you're going to get some wear in those sections. However, apart from the squeaking, which I guess is going to annoy some people, and is something that I'm gonna work on seeing if I can eliminate. You know, they're very comfortable to walk around in off the bike. You don't feel like, you don't feel like an idiot wearing them off the bike. I could happily walk around in these for a couple of hours off the bike. They're comfortable, good support, great support in that heel. It's quite an armored heel section as well. There's like a reflector on the back there, which is good. Obviously all of the buckle sections like a heavy duty plastic as well, which is going to help provide the protection that you need without going to the full extremes of like a full motocross boot. And then you've got those really heavy duty bits on the shins there, which are going to offer a good bit of protection for stuff hitting you in the shins. And then I've got the knee protectors, the fly racing knee protectors on underneath. So I've basically got full protection like right up to here on my legs, thanks to the Sidi boots and the fly racing knee protection. Then I've got obviously the pants on there. So obviously a big aspect of this kind of adventure boot will be the long-term test and seeing how they last over a year or more. So I'll be back with an update when I've put plenty more wear on these boots. But while the Sidi Adventure 2 Gore-Tex boots demand a premium price, first impressions really show the level of technology, development and protection on offer here, including me being able to wear these easily on a sports bike, which is something you wouldn't really expect on a large adventure style boot. The Sidi Adventure 2 has been around for a while, but it's certainly still got a lot to offer, and I definitely say boots aren't a place to skimp on. If you've got any questions, just ask below in the comments, and if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to sub and hit that notification bell. As always, stay safe out there and have a great day. Thanks.